Hi, my cozy friends! I wasn't expecting Halloween decor in June, but here we are. Let's take a look. I don't usually think of these colors when I think of Halloween, but that's exactly what makes them so interesting. These shelves are actually pretty small. This almost looks like a Christmas wreath until you spot the little ghosts. It also feels really full and well made. Down below are these giant disco ghosts. They are meant for indoor use only, but I can't help thinking how fun they'd look on a front porch. And of course, every Halloween collection needs a trick-or-treat sign. I expected these pumpkins to be much heavier. You don't usually see pumpkins in colors like these. I'm not entirely sure what makes this Halloween. I guess it's the color palette that ties them in with the rest of the collection. On the bright side, this is the kind of decor you could easily keep out year-round. This is where the retro inspiration really starts to make sense. These phones fit right in. The same vibe carries through the entire shelf. Even the popsicles feel retro. These skulls are more cute than creepy. They almost look like something made for a kid's room. At first I thought you could put a candle inside. But it turns out it's actually a candy bowl. I always associate nutcrackers with Christmas, so seeing Halloween versions is a fun surprise. For me, Frankenstein is definitely the most Halloween one here. All the pillows are so bright and colorful. I especially like this one. It would add such a fun pop of color if your home is mostly decorated in warm orange tones. At first, it just looks like a cute pillow. Then I open it, and it turns out to be a little coffin. I never thought a coffin could look this adorable. I would never guess this was supposed to be a pillow. I honestly thought it was a toy. Either way, this whole collection makes me smile. It really captures that retro vibe. And that's not all. Let's take a look at another collection. There are so many of these display stands. I'm curious, what would you use them for? I'd love to hear your ideas. This collection has a completely different mood. And you'll be seeing this girl in a box more than once. I like that the top of these candle holders is wide enough to fit different candle sizes. These signs are pretty fun. I think this one is my favorite for Halloween. I really like these. They feel like old carnival signs. This reminds me of a little toy dresser. I like the vintage feel. And once again, there's the girl in a box. The same idea, just in a different design. I think I'd pick this one for Halloween, but the first one is definitely cuter. I think this one is my favorite. I love the vintage look. I'd almost want to leave it empty, just so you could still see the artwork inside. I really like these. I don't think they're the most practical for storing things. The walls are pretty thin. But as decor, especially if you line up a few of them to complete the whole figure, I'd say they'd make such a unique display. This tool feels really solid. The blue is even richer in person. The camera doesn't quite do it justice. The same goes for this one. I never would have thought of making a shelf out of velvet, but it makes the whole piece feel more vintage. This lantern is huge. Can you imagine how beautiful this would look after dark? I think Michaels really stepped it up this year. Everything feels more stylish and elevated than usual. This box had me a little confused. I never figured out whether the middle piece actually opens. Maybe that's part of the magic. And of course, every magical session needs a few crystals. The frames are surprisingly heavy. I actually got curious. I wonder if these are based on real palm reading charts or just decorative. I honestly have no idea. I love how the fringe doubles as eyelashes. The little stars give the mirror so much more dimension, and the velvet makes it feel even more unique. I couldn't find a price for these little drawer cabinets. These actually seem a lot more practical. You could really store something in them. And you can actually use this one for storage as well. No vintage ladies to cover up with your stuff. These retro disco decorations are massive. Orange, black, and candy corn. It doesn't get much more Halloween than that. The mosaic mirror finish was such a fun choice. Everything sparkles and instantly feels like a party. I think the giant candy is my favorite. It's huge and I can definitely see kids loving it. One thing I wasn't expecting was such a huge selection of ornaments. There were tiny ones, oversized ones. These little ghost ornaments are so cute, and the whole set is only $10. This light-up skull lamp is actually pretty big. Next up, a whole collection of decorations with lights, sounds, and movement.
Have your attention, please. Beware of the base symbol. I see you. Rising from the grave tonight. Let your ringtones give you fright.
The disco theme continues with these fancy skeletons. I like that you can choose between different colors. There is a whole Venus flytrap collection. Even the door wreaths have them. And if that's not enough, there are giant ones too. Today's browse ends with these beautiful oversized flowers. Halloween doesn't have to be ugly. I love the way Michaels brings that idea to life. Every collection feels unique, creative, and surprisingly beautiful. Thanks for browsing with me today. I'll see you in the next video where we'll explore Michaels' beautiful new summer and fall collections. Take care. Bye.